honestly, anytime we have a podcast with Josh, I just know that something along those lines are going to happen. Something along those lines are going to happen at some point. Like, I don't know how kids didn't run down the stairs, downstairs screaming the last podcast we did.
Common sense and the fear of getting spanked.
Wait a minute.
Why would you spank your kids for coming downstairs?
And your offspring has common sense?
Yeah, no shit. I mean,
Yes,
they kind of
they do.
Yeah.
They are fairly. Your children are fairly reasonable. They seem to be. Like, they seem to be fairly intelligent and reasonable. Which, if they weren't, I would tell you that, you know.
And one of the highest things that I could say for praise for children is I don't hate them.
Yeah.
So, there you go. You got that going for you.
So how you doing this Sunday, pal?
I'm really sad, devastated.
Dude, honestly, Levi said those exact words. Now, Levi would never say that if he were not actually sad. Levi would not say the words, I am sad, if you were not actually sad. You would not say the words, I am sad, if you were not actually sad about... A lot of people don't understand the sadness and how seriously we take the Detroit Lions. Like when your team has the best quarterback that they've ever had,
Ever.
And the guy you're like, man, I want them to win a Super Bowl with this guy so bad. When he's leaving, it hits you, man. Why do we take it so seriously?
Because we're stupid.
Because
we're stupid, and as much as I try to think that I've really separated myself from Lions fandom, I know that I haven't, because I still take it too seriously. Of all the shitty things that have happened in the world in the last year, the thing that makes me the saddest and depresses me the most is Matthew Stafford being traded. That's not a lie. I'm not joking.
It's not irrational. It's like that because... You want to know why? Because that's the one thing you were holding on to. You know, that's the one thing that you can take from this whole shitty thing is that you were able to watch football this year. Even though the Lions sucked, you were still able to watch football this year. You know? And that's just the one thing you're holding on to. That's gone now too.
It's very upsetting.
I was gone and away from my phone when it was announced, and I sat down because we're watching something on Hulu last night, and I was getting excited to watch it, and I saw that on Twitter, and my head fell, and I swore loudly, and Melissa was like, what? And I just didn't talk for like 10 minutes.
You reacted similar as if like a loved one died. You know what I mean? That's one of those things where somebody actually wonders if you're okay. Where you're like, oh, fuck. And it's a genuine like, oh, shit moment where if nobody knows out of context, they would think somebody died.
Yeah,
it felt like I got kicked in the stomach when I read that.
I was watching TV in bed last night, and I flipped on over to ESPN.com on my phone, and I saw it. I'm scrolled through like 3 different websites to make sure it was true, and I was like, "Am I gonna cry? Am I gonna cry? I don't know."
Did you?
No.
Oh man,
I was this close. I'm like, I'm not gonna cry about this because I'm not going to give my wife that satisfaction.
Why would she? How is that giving your wife satisfaction? Because she wants... Oh, she just wants you to show emotion sometimes.
Yes.
Look, you got to give her that every once in a while, you know? Like if you show some emotion, Josh. You can cry. It's okay.
So
Yeah.
anyway, now it's completely blown up. So we're looking at another 3 years probably possibly for the Lions to do anything. That's the biggest reason why it's
I
sad.
hate it, man. Like I am a firm believer that first of all they were just like a couple decent sized pieces away from being good. You know, Matt Stafford. I said it on the morning show. He and I talked about it. Especially once Patricia was out of the picture, which by the way, fuck that guy. Ruined everything.
Yes.
Once he was gone, Matt Stafford was fucking slinging. Dude, he was playing better than he'd ever played in his whole life for the Detroit Lions. And that's saying a lot because he is the best quarterback the Detroit Lions have ever had. I found out about it this morning because I went to bed super early yesterday. And then I woke up like I do at 3:30 and I'm just laying in bed. And I saw McTighe. I didn't know that he was leaving. I just saw McTighe post something about oh man, now I want to go look because it made me think, did something happen to Matt Stafford? Like, is he leaving? Because he just said something like
Hopefully
Lions,
he goes somewhere and wins a Super Bowl because he deserves it.
And
Yeah,
it was the NFL Films video of his rookie season in 2009 against the Browns, the win after he got his shoulder
the one
jacked.
that made us fall in love with him.
Oh my God, the moment where I jumped up at Turtle Creek Casino in the sports bar and said, "He's going to the Hall of Fame!" You know? I'm like, put a yellow jacket on that guy immediately. Now he's going to go to the Patriots and win 3 Super Bowls and it's just like the most Detroit Lions thing that's ever happened.
He's not. He definitely doesn't want to go to the Patriots because Matt Patricia is a coach.
He doesn't have one single bit to say into anything.
It won't matter. It won't matter.
How much do you really think Matt Patricia is to blame for this? Because you're a reasonable. Here's the thing. You're a reasonable Detroit Lions fan, okay? Josh, to an extent, is a reasonable Detroit Lions fan. I, to an extent, am a reasonable Detroit Lions fan. I mean, Josh is kind of reasonable, you know? When compared to most Lions fans, Josh is reasonable. I'm sort of reasonable, even though I pick the Lions to go to the Super Bowl all the time because I'm an idiot. I say it knowing I'm stupid, knowing it's irrational. But how much do you really think, as an educated football observer that you are, how much did Patricia have to do with the demise of Matt Stafford and the Lions?
100%.
Yeah.
It was 100%. Because the trajectory of the team was upward
With Caldwell.
And steadily upward. And Matt Stafford's decision making, his overall performance was on that same trajectory with Caldwell. And if Matt Patricia wasn't a stubborn dick and could figure out how to utilize his players and not alienate them, like all of them.
That's the big one, where you just took a giant shit on all these guys,
right?
Because they didn't necessarily warm up your way.
You make the players not want to play for you.
Yeah.
And that was his biggest downfall. So it's 100% on Matt Patricia.
It's such a bummer because I even though I pick the Detroit Lions to win the Super Bowl all the time, I am fairly reasonable and I know that it's ridiculous. But to have like real positivity going into, a season, man, they look like they got all the pieces and they got Patricia, who's supposed to be this fucking genius. And you're like, all right, man, maybe we're sitting pretty for once. Nope. You know what it does? It makes me hate Aaron Rodgers and the Packers so much more. Like did a bit on the show, the Aaron Rodgers hate train. That's based on real hatred. Like, yeah. I really hate him. I know Josh feels the same way. I know you feel the same way.
Yeah, but
it's
for me, it's a little different because I only hate him for one reason, And it's
Because he plays
because
for the
he's so
Packers.
good. No,
I
it's
hate him
because
he
he's so
plays for the
good.
Packers. That's it.
Well, of course. If he was as good as he is and played for anybody but the Packers or the Cowboys, I wouldn't hate him as much.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
Of course.
I still might hate him because, like, he's as good as he is, and he knows he's that good, and he's not humble about it at all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my down year is a career year for most guys. Fuck that guy. Seriously, you know why I hate him? It's,
Because he's arrogant.
yeah, so smug about it. And then Green Bay, we've talked about it before. They're so lucky. They're so lucky that they've had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers back to back, basically 25 years of success. You basically have
28 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know,
Well,
28
what year
years.
was it 05 that he was drafted?
Yeah,
Or was it 07?
it was 05.
05? Yeah, and he just fell and fell and fell and fell in the first round. And he's just sitting there looking like, you guys fucked up.
and they did. Everybody that passed on Aaron Rodgers.
And who did we
is
take in
the
05?
dumbest person
Fucking
ever.
Mike Williams.
But there you go. But that's why I hate him, because you're an asshole about it. You got lucky. Aaron Rodgers kind of didn't get lucky. Like, he's good.
No, he did get lucky.
He got lucky.
He went to the perfect situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And all these Packer fans are so entitled. They think they deserve a title every year.
And because I've discussed it with a buddy of mine who's been a Packer fan his whole life, and he's like, 70s and 80s, Packers fans hated everything because we sucked.
Yeah.
And if you were born in the 90s, you have no idea, as a Packer fan, you have no idea what it's like to have your team suck. So I hope you get your comeuppance.
Your comeuppance. You deserve like a whole era of misery. That's what you deserve.
Yeah, a good 10 years of just downtrodden.
Yep.
Your wide receiver catching the game-winning touchdown and have it be called back on a fucking technicality.
Yeah.
So you lose the game.
Hail Marys. Like season-ending Hail Marys from both Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Playoffs killed a playoff game. Brett Favre, who caught that ball? Sterling Sharp caught that ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary basically ended the season for the Lions. I couldn't hate him more. And like people will say, and they have a point, you only hate them because your team sucks. You're right. I will admit my jealousy. I will admit my envy, and I will admit that I hate him for those reasons.
See, that's not true, though. It's not true that you only hate him because your team sucks.
Yeah.
Because we've hated the Dallas Cowboys even when the Lions were not shitty
It's true.
through the 90s,
true.
and we hated Brett Favre when the Lions were not shitty.
It's true.
So it might add a little tinge to it. It might kind of up the ante on the hatred for Aaron Rodgers that he's with the team that he is. But
You know what I hate the most is that now my team is responsible for 3 all-time greats that have just decided to leave.
yeah,
Because they play for the Detroit Lions.
really 4
Four.
if you add Chris Spielman.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
but that's
they took a dump on him and he
Yeah.
decided to leave.
yeah. Oh, you tore your pectoral muscle. You weren't as good.
That was a big reason Barry Sanders left.
Yeah.
Was that they got rid of Spielman. Now
And Kevin Glover.
Kevin Glover too.
Yeah.
Now how much is it ironic if it's I don't even know if it's irony, the fact that Spielman is running the ship, so to speak, now, or helping to run the ship, and then
I don't think it's ironic. I think it's going to actually bode well for the future because he understands a little better from the perspective of the players really buying into the Lions and Detroit and knowing the connection that they make is important, and if they do make that connection, trying to hold on to them. I mean, unless they suck, of course.
It's one reason why they hired Dan Campbell as the coach for the same reason.
I love that guy already. I just happened to catch his press conference on YouTube. Like, I don't know, it was probably 45 minutes into it or something. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this guy. I love him. I love his positivity. I love his demeanor. I love everything. He's like the dude, basically. He's our guaranteed Super Bowl champion coach.
I don't know. I don't want to say
the fact that he knew that Stafford was going to be traded before he signed the contract.
Well,
to become the coach.
Well, I'm under the impression that Stafford is the one that looked for the trade, right? So he might have seen the writing on the wall. Maybe they wanted to go another direction anyway. Who knows?
No, everything that I've read at the end of the season, he went to ownership and said we should probably look for a trade.
Yeah. Yep.
But
January 3rd is when he did that.
I don't want to say I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't know if my optimism is that high with Dan Campbell, but it's the first time. Well, I mean, Jim Caldwell was kind of like this, but it's the first time the Lions have hired a coach that is not necessarily an X's and O's an X's and O's guy, but rather a motivator.
Yeah.
The best coaches are Pete Carroll, Bill Parcells, Sean Payton. They're all guys that are doing their best to get everybody to play the best football they can rather than scheme. And they're allowing their coordinators to do all the scheming.
Well, when he was talking about, utilizing your players best of their ability, and it's something, that we've talked about, that Patricia didn't do. Utilize your players to the best of their abilities. It's like, play the best football that suits your personnel.
Right. It's nice to want to have a scheme, but if your players don't necessarily fit your scheme that you want to run, you have to change your scheme to suit your players.
Yep.
And that's one thing he didn't do. That's one thing Patricia did not do. Square peg, round hole.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like he couldn't have gone out any better, though. I mean, when I say he couldn't have gone out any better, I mean any better under the circumstances. Right. Like being injured like the last couple games, and people are saying, well, why are you going back in? Why, you don't need to play these games. You're risking injury. What's the point? Dude, that guy is a gamer. Yeah. That dude is a gamer. You say what you want. Like, he might have thrown some interceptions when didn't maybe need to. My big criticism of him was that I thought he could have thrown a better deep ball. That's probably the only criticism I have of him.
I don't have any criticisms for Matthew Stafford. I now have 3 favorite teams in the NFL: the Lions, the Steelers, and whatever team Matthew Stafford goes.
What if that's the Cowboys?
I'll be torn. I was torn when Bill Parcells was the coach of the Cowboys because I loved Bill Parcells, always have. I still didn't root for them, but if they won the Super Bowl, I wouldn't hate it. So, unless they went through the Lions to do it. Now, if Matthew Stafford went to the Cowboys, it would probably be the same thing. I wouldn't necessarily root for them, but I wouldn't hate it if they won the Super Bowl.
I don't know how it would feel, man.
Now, if they were the Cowboys Packers, I usually root for a fucking meteor on that one. But
yep.
If Matthew Stafford was playing for the Cowboys and they were playing the Packers, I would definitely root for the Cowboys. Now, that's not going to happen because the Cowboys would be stupid to shell out a bunch of draft picks for Matthew Stafford that I'm not even really sure they have anymore because they traded first-round picks for 2 or 3 different guys. But shell out draft picks for Matthew Stafford rather than pay Dak Prescott a bunch of money. They're definitely going the Dak Prescott route rather than Matthew Stafford. So that's not going to happen. I don't have to worry about that.
I'm more bummed about a rebuild than anything. I think you were saying it earlier. It's like, dude.
Yeah, I'm bummed that Stafford is going somewhere, but I'm also bummed that
that's only if they get fair market value.
They're going to.
They're
going to. But I'm just saying.
If they don't, they'll get laughed out of the fucking building.
They're one of 3 teams are going to trade for him. New England, Indianapolis, or San Francisco.
There's the Saints.
Maybe.
There's the Saints too.
The Saints, maybe the Steelers too. That would be awesome.
Man, the Steelers. They're already my AFC team.
For me, that would be awesome if Stafford went to the Steelers.
Man, that'd be something. I would not hate that.
But somebody's going to shell out some picks for Matthew Stafford.
Dude, he is going to go. Like, how old is he? 32, 33?
33.
33. He's easily going to play
5 more years.
5
more years.
He's taking a lot of punishment.
Yeah, but,
you know,
I mean, he's still playing at a high
I think
level.
he's going to play into his 40s. I don't think he's going to play into his 40s. Maybe 38, 39. So he's got 5-6 years. He's going to win a Super Bowl somewhere. He's going to win a Super Bowl somewhere.
I have full confidence that if he goes to one of those 5 teams, he's going to win a Super Bowl.
And like, Cleveland is already better than the Lions. Fuck.
So yeah, we've got at a good probably 2 years of mediocrity to look forward to again. And I hope for the best, but I'm realistic. I know how NFL rebuilds go.
What are the odds? What time do the games start today?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Who's playing first?
Tampa Bay and Green Bay.
Man, I want Tom Brady to win so much.
I got $50 on Tampa Bay.
Do you?
Yeah.
Did you bet online?
Yeah.
Are you betting online?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't even want any part of that. I was thinking about
You
it.
have far too addictive of a personality.
Yeah, no, I can't
to do betting online.
I can't gamble. No, I can't gamble. I lost rent.
Stop moving.
Seriously.
What are you
freaking
doing?
Me out, man.
It's a goddamn earthquake.
You know, if you wouldn't have said anything about it, I would have probably deleted it out.
Oh.
Editing. What are you doing?
I had to go get something.
Like what? You know, when we're recording a podcast. Huh?
I had to get something from across the room.
Is it a prop that you're going to use in the podcast?
You could have just put it down. You could have put the laptop down and just got up and walked over there.
Did you find a cookie? Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
What the fuck were we talking about? Oh, yeah, online betting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, I lost rent before.
Christ.
That was something I had to do. My ex-wife, Missy, I had to tell her that. That sucked. And
yeah.
I didn't gamble. I have gambled since then, but very brief. Mm-hmm. Then I remind myself, because what I like to do is play that video poker that's at the bar. And then it's a double down, where, like, you win a hand, for instance, you win a hand, and then it says, hey, do you want to do high or low on that hand? Whatever next one comes up, is it higher or lower than the next one? You have to pick. And then you can bet how much, you double it up. And that's how you lose rent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because last time we played, I did win $1,000 on that once. Mm-hmm. But the last time I played was we went to that Soaring Eagle show. What was the Soaring Eagle show?
Weezer.
Yeah, and I played then, and you saw how quick it goes. It's like, boom, I had $200, and I was like, bet, gone.
Jesus Christ.
But, like, Josh and I, like, playing craps is so much fun, but that's addicting. Like, you can win and lose so much money. That was another thing. I'm like, man, this is terrible. This is dangerous. I can't do this.
Man, I don't have that going on.
Yeah, I made a couple of mistakes when I lived in Vegas.
Man.
Were those? I mean, you're still here. I mean, obviously they weren't that bad of mistakes.
Yeah, you didn't get kneecapped or anything.
Yeah, you still have your fingers.
No, it wasn't that, but they were like $500 mistakes.
Woo!
So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad about shelling out $400 for a rod and reel that I'm going to have forever then.
Oh no, it's look. I think about it now, and just like the idea of gambling for the most part, other than like playing poker with friends or something, other than that, I have no desire. Man, I remember I was in the Army and I was in Korea. What the fuck are you doing?
nothing.
You look like you're having a seizure over there.
Dude, I was in Korea, and man, I feel kind of bad about it now, but I felt less bad about it then. But it's still that guy's fault, so fuck him. Sergeant, whatever his name was, we all played poker, and we played high-low. And you want to talk about a real fast pot builder, high-low. If you it was the same thing with the cards. Pick high or low, and if you would either win or lose, or if you tied, like say you had a 2 and it was a 2, the next one that came up, you'd have to double whatever was in the pot. So guys were like, there was a sergeant, we made him go to the ATM like 4 times in a night, and he's like, oh man, like this is like for my kids, like milk and shit. We're like, fuck you, fuck face. We said like $800. We made him lose. Like, sorry, I guess you shouldn't play.
Yeah, I guess
Won so much money that
I
night.
guess you shouldn't play if those are the consequences. Yeah. That's your poor choice for playing.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad about that now, but when you're 22 years old and you're like, woohoo, we're going to Seoul.
Man,
sorry,
I'm a really good person.
Sorry, bastard. All right,
I don't feel bad about anything that I've ever done, so that makes me. I mean, I'm a good person. I know that.
Either that or you're evil. One of the two.
I have a conscience. Most of the time, it just works where it tells me not to do something ahead of time, rather than make me feel bad about doing it later.
Nope, I had to learn along the way. All right, fun podcast. Go everybody but Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And Josh, I love seeing your face.
Don't gamble online if you can't control yourself.
That's a lie.
Morals
What,
of the
Levi?
story?
I said, don't gamble online if you can't control yourself.